taken a bit of a deep dive with this. This is a message to my teenage self. Hope it helps. You are weird, and that's okay. Actually, being weird is the best thing you can be, because it's you. And I read recently, in a sea of sane, weird wins. So sit with that for a moment. Life isn't going to be easy, but it's not really easy for anyone. And so however much you feel like you're the only one who's struggling, you're not. I know you find reading and writing really difficult. I know that you find it boring, or you don't understand. You feel like you're not reading the same stuff as other people. But actually it's going to end up being one of the greatest joys of your life, and it's going to be the way you learn and the way you communicate. So that's something really big to look forward to. On that, joy, nature is going to be a massive thing for you. I know you're not interested in nature at the moment. I know you're not bothered about going for walks or, I don't know, looking at things outside at all. I can't remember looking at any of those things. But that's going to be a joy for you, so get involved in that, the sooner the better. I know you think that you're really ugly and gross, and I know that people have told you that you're boring. And I know you're not going to believe me when I tell you that those things aren't true, and they never were true. Yes, the acne is horrendous, I know that, and I know that your legs have grown quicker than the rest of you. It happens. Number one, you know you're not the only one with acne, right? Well, sadly it gets better, but it doesn't go away completely, because you're still going to have it at 39. But you're not ugly. And actually, acne and all that stuff is skin deep. Which sounds really flippant, but believe me when I tell you that you are beautiful and you're doing okay. Similar to the nature thing, I want you to pray about everything. Not just the things you think you ought to be praying about. I don't want you to try and sit down every day and have a quiet time or whatever. I just want you to lay everything before the one who wrote the universe. Because God knows you, and that is comforting. So I want you to lay everything out before God. The things you hope for, the things you really want, your desires, and most of all the things you're scared of. Your hatred of sleepovers, for example. Your fears about friendship. And the future. So I want you to lay all those things before God, but I also want you to tell a grown-up, an adult, somebody you trust. It doesn't have to be mum and dad. Somebody you trust. About the things you're afraid of. Because keeping them to yourself doesn't really work. All those things that you are afraid of, and I know there are loads, again, you probably won't believe me when I tell you this, but you really aren't the only one who's afraid of those things, and you're really not the only one who's scared. Where are we? So I'm just going to finish by saying that actually you're doing your best, and that's really the ever thing that you can ever do is your best, and you're doing fine. You're doing absolutely fine. You turn out to have loads of really good dear friends, And so that's only possible if you're actually a good kid. So you are a good kid and you're doing fine and you're doing your best with the knowledge that you've got. Your intuition is good. So trust it. And all those times that people, grown-ups or friends or, I don't know, well-meaning people suggest things to you that you might want to do as a career or you might want to do with relationships or whatever, they're doing their best to give you advice, and that's great, but actually you can trust yourself because you're good at making decisions. And I wish I'd known that earlier, so I wish that you would know that you're a good kid and you're doing fine. Your moral compass is great. Your intuition is good. Definitely don't trust your feelings all the time or your thoughts. But you can trust yourself and you can trust that there is goodness in you. But yeah, you're doing great. So just stick with that. Stick with what you're doing. It's great. Finally, this is important. Eat breakfast. You're still learning that as an adult.